Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'd like to show you a foolproof way to keep the Chopin Minute Waltz from rushing. What I need to do is to create a steady, solid beat, a pulse that is like your heart, steady, constant, unless you get all excited, and also like a clock, tick, tick. When you see the gears moving, click, 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 click. It's creating that solid, steady beat. You have to have that conductor in you when you're playing in order not to get faster and faster. So here's an image for you that I found, that I figured out, that is very solid and really works. I've already shown you how you can depress the key by diving slowly all the way through to the floor and hanging onto the ledge at that point when you're coming through with the limpid wrist and snapping the finger gently toward you to create a beautiful individual tone. But that's not creating the pulse itself in the piece. To create the pulse itself, I have to think about what makes a steady pulse. And if I think of the clock, I just think of that repeating pulse, heartbeat or clock pulse. Then if I can imagine my whole body weight releasing on the way up with this puff of air and diving slowly through to the ground, if I think of sitting, I'm in a football game, and I'm sitting on the football, and the football player's behind me, and he's going to come and he's going to hit me a pulse, a bang, a whack with his foot and kick me up in the air. That's the same idea as this air coming up to release over the top and allow the load to settle and then accelerate down and create the pulse when the sharp finger plays down, gently, tenderly, warmly. Now, when you're creating a pulse, it can be a little louder, your practice, when you're just working on pulse to begin with, because you're trying to create something that's solid and strong. And so there'll be this heaviness to it, and the whole point is to hear the pulse. When you can actually hear that 1, 2, 3 in the Chopin Minute Waltz, there's 8, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. But each one of those pulses, those beats that has to be so solid and steady, is the football player kicking my seat, my whole weight up and come crashing in. Beat, beat, beat. So 1, so I can say beat, 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 beat. An image for each one of those, I'm getting kicked in the seat. Up, 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 up. Because we have to swallow a conductor. We have to have a conductor inside of us when we play. Otherwise, the piece goes random and without leadership. It's like an orchestra playing without a conductor. It isn't so pretty. So you have to have this steady pulse. So I'll just try a bit of it and see what that image works, how it works for me when I do it, that I don't rush, because I'm aware of every time I'm getting hurt or kicked with that pulse, with that beat, with that guy's foot. So beat, 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 beat. harsh and all of that, because I'm not doing it for the overall warmth of every note the way I will when I go to play it. I'm doing it to hear a pulse that I'm creating that is steady. And this is the most important thing music has to have, is a steady pulse. Before you do any rubato, moving ahead or pulling back or anything, you have to conduct it. You have to be the conductor inside of you, creating that steady pulse. And I think this analogy does it, because and you can narrow it down. Like if I was playing the Brahms, I can put it for the and as well. I can say, I still want the kick on the quarter, because if the time signature is 3/4 time, 3 beats to the bar, 3 kicks, and the quarter note is what each kick is worth. So kick, kick, but I can put the and. So 3 and 1 and 2. So sorry, 3 and 1 and 2, 3. It sounds rigid right now, but that's because I'm trying to hear and create a solid, steady beat. All the pieces that you work on, it's going to need that. And so having an image that is foolproof is essential. And then you can put it to the metronome and still say it the same way and see that you're sticking to the beat. Because if you had a metronome that doesn't just go left and right, but rather goes up for each one, that's the kick. Beat, 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 like walking, step, 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 step. You can put that image in your mind and feel it in your body, and then hear it in your ear and create it in your piece, because you know which notes come on those numbers that are the beats of the piece. And it make your playing a lot more reliable and steady, but then it's to soften the tone, keep the beat. Sometimes you don't even hardly hear the beat, but it has to be there. Otherwise, the piece is out of control. So anyway, I hope that gives you some ideas and that you can work with in keeping your playing steady. Have a good night now. Bye-bye.